West Ham United are interested in Toulouse centre-back Charlie Cresswell. That's according to ex-West Ham employee. The former Leeds United defender was one of the stars of the tournament as England retained their title. And it was Cresswell's performances in that competition which has caught the interest of the West Ham recruitment team. Now, this is a transfer I can believe. This is a transfer I would love to see happen. Some players we've been linked to, let's take Harvey Elliott because he's possibly the best example. They're on the ambitious side of things, the unrealistic and unbelievable side of things when it comes to transfer rumours. Could we attract him? That's one debate. Could we afford him? Probably not. So it becomes incredibly unrealistic. I don't think either of those things apply to Cresswell. I think we could attract him and I think we could afford him as well. I would love to see this transfer happen. Those that have been tuning in for the last 6 weeks or so will know I like Charlie Cresswell. It won't harm to have another Cresswell to replace a Cresswell that's just left, will it? But let's talk about the transfer rumour itself. Actually, before we do that, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Just check you have. About a third of you watching have not subscribed to the channel. Let's fix that. Let's get that number down a little bit. So please do stick around for the journey and also drop a like on the video as well by clicking thumbs up. We could have 1,000 likes again. That would be delicious. And just a reminder, our raffle ends tonight. We've got 4 prizes, a signed Jared Bowen shirt. We've got this captain's armband signed by Mark Noble. We've got this captain's armband signed by Paul Di Canio. But I think the big prize, and a shirt that I'm sad to be parting with, but needs must because of circumstances, is this match-worn Kevin Nolan shirt. He wore it against Peterborough when we won 2-0. He swapped it with Lee Tomlin at the end of the game. Lee Tomlin flogged it, and now we've got it. So we're putting it in as we say, we're giving it away. We're not giving it away. It's a prize in a raffle. It's £5 per ticket, but if you buy 2 tickets, you get your third ticket free. Entry closes tonight, Wednesday at 9 PM. Links in description and the pinned comments. A massive thank you to everybody who's grabbed a ticket or 2 so far, and best of luck. 4 of you will be winners. And we already know what we're doing for our next raffle as well, which is just as big, in my opinion, just as exciting. Anyway, in terms of this transfer rumour, so Cresswell's already been linked with a move to Italy. Atalanta and Como are linked to him, Cesc Fabregas' side, who I've watched a couple, I'd say maybe 4 times, I think I watched him last season, because he's getting a lot of hype, Fabregas, isn't he, as a coach? A lot of footage I've seen of him coaching that I thought, oh, this is interesting. I like this type of stuff. So I've watched Como a whole 4 times last season. I'll tell you what, I was thoroughly impressed by what I've seen. I enjoyed watching him play. So they're on my list to watch next season. I'm going to watch a few more teams than I usually do abroad. And Como are on it. But they are the ones that are favourites to sign Cresswell at this point. Price tag believed to be around 14 million. Now, he only joined Toulouse a year ago for just under 4 million. So they're set to make a good profit. However, Leeds United are entitled to, I believe, 15% of any profit Toulouse make on the deal. So Leeds United are obviously hoping he goes for a bit more. The price tag has crept up. I think during the tournament it was around about 14 million, even a bit less than that, 11 million. And it's gone up to 16, 17. It's gone up because of his performances at the tournament, and understandably so. I'm never keen on judging a player based on a tournament like that, because it's a completely different environment. When you're playing 3 games a week, you're with one set of players in particular, you're away from your family, you're staying in this environment, everything, comparing the under-21 Euros to playing in the Premier League, it's a complete, everything is different. The style of football's different, the tempo's different. They were playing in 30 degrees heat at some points during the tournament, so it was a much lower tempo than what the Premier League would usually have. And then, like I said, even off the pitch, the environment is totally different. So I think it's dangerous to judge a player on a tournament. You can judge him at a tournament, and you can do your research away from it. So if we'd identified Cresswell early on, February time, we thought maybe this is the guy we go for. We've been keeping an eye on him. We go to a tournament, we think, right, okay, this has convinced us. I'm okay with that. As long as we haven't watched a tournament and gone, that's our guy. That's, I think, dangerous and risky. I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt and say that that perhaps hasn't happened. But there is a part of me that's a little bit wary of the rumour, because when Potter publicly said we're going to go after younger players, so if I was to start, linking players to West Ham, I would be going for the England under-21 players that are likely to be on the move and affordable. So when we get linked to Tyler Morton, I don't really believe that transfer rumour, despite all the noise around it, because I just look at it and I think, it just feels like a lazy transfer rumour to me. It feels like, oh, well, that guy's on the move. He's going to be about 10, 15 million. West Ham are desperate for players. Maybe they need a midfielder. He's homegrown. He's young. There you go. Tyler Morton to West Ham. I might be wrong. We might end up signing him. I just find it difficult to... I just feel like it feels like an obvious transfer rumour. And I'm a bit concerned that the Cresswell one's a bit like that as well, because to me, I'm like, well, why weren't we linked to him before the tournament, right? Is it because... So either A... no one knew we were looking at him before the tournament, or B, we've decided to look at him because of the tournament, or C, it's maths. Young player, affordable, likely to be on the move. West Ham may need a centre-back. Ta-da, there we go. Homegrown. It ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? Now, I'm wanting to believe this transfer rumour because I think he'd be a fantastic signing. I think during the Euros, now I'm not going to pretend I've watched Toulouse. I liked him at Leeds. He looked like a good young centre-back at Leeds United. I was surprised they sold him. Apparently smashed it in Toulouse. Don't know. Not watched him play. But from what I've seen at the Euros, he was very, very good. He was definitely one of the best players at that tournament. But what I actually quite liked about him, and now this is partly down to Lee Carsley. I've mentioned it before, I'll mention it again, for those that perhaps didn't hear it. I remember an interview with Carsley, and they asked him about a player's position, and I think it was Alexander-Arnold. It might not have been, but I think it was, because at that point, Klopp had him playing centre midfield. And Carsley basically said, well, I don't do positions, I do roles. So on paper, it might look like a 4-4. But at the Euros, it was a bit of a 4-4-2-2, weren't it? 2 false nines until Stansfield came into the team. 2 wide players with Hutchinson and Elliott. 2 players in double pivot with Anderson and Scott. And then their back 4. But what Carsley was stressing was, while it may look like Livermento's playing right back, he's not a right back. He's got a role defensively and he's got a role offensively. And it might be that he's in the position of a right back. However, not always. And when you watch England play, they did play with that freedom. Often you would see Livermento going down the middle of the pitch. You see Hinshelwood dropping into the number 6 role. They were very fluid, so it's believable. So Cresswell's role, what impressed me a lot was, and this is going to sound wild because it's a centre-back, but I thought quite often he was the one dictating the tempo for England at the Euros. Quite often he was the one that got his foot on the ball and just slowed things down. Him and Anderson, I thought, were the 2 best players at doing it for England. I thought often Cresswell would just slow it down, but at the same time, if they wanted to hurry it up a little bit, he was the one that was releasing it really quickly, whether it be into Anderson, Scott, Morton, Hackney when he was on the pitch, out to Livermento or Archie Gray, whoever's playing on the right-hand side, out to Harvey Elliott. I thought Cresswell was really good at playing it quick or playing it slow, depending on how England wanted to play. Very comfortable in possession, was inviting the press onto him. He'd wait there, say, come press me, because then I'm going to pass to the player, play it into the space that you've just given up to come and press me. He was very good. What I will also say, and this is something we are lacking at West Ham, a big threat at set pieces. Whenever England got a corner, he was a target. He was getting on the end of it quite often as well. Scored 4 goals for Toulouse last season. We don't have that right now. Kilman, Todibo, then I actually think Mavropanos is our biggest threat at set pieces, but he's not great and not on the pitch as much as the other 2. So I think if we can introduce a centre-back, and this goes to the Brentford ideology, which is when we sign a centre-back, yes, we're looking for the defensive aspects of their game, but we're also looking for a centre-back that can provide 4 goals a season. Because if both centre-backs can do that, and we can get 8 goals from our centre-backs, we're doing all right there. Then we can get goals from him, and it all contributes to it. That's why Keith Andrews will have what Thomas Frank's got, and this is where I never believed this. I hated this rumour about West Ham's next coach to replace Moyes, which was KPIs. I hated that. Brentford are the only club that do it. But part of those KPIs was scoring goals from set pieces, because the belief was, if you're scoring goals from set pieces, it will lead us to getting points, and that will lead us up the table. It's worked. But I don't want West Ham to go down that route per se. But what I would like is that when we've got a corner, think, hang on, we've got an opportunity here, because currently it doesn't feel like that. When Ward-Prowse beats the first man, which doesn't happen too often anymore, we're just not very good at attacking set pieces. Souček's aside, Souček's incredible, but he's a midfielder. We're discussing centre-backs here. Our centre-backs carry no threat offensively at set pieces, so we could get Cresswell and he will do that. And he is tall, he's strong, he's aggressive, really strong in the tackle as well. I thoroughly enjoy him. He's got that sort of warrior-like presence at the back, a bit of the Craig Dawson about him, if you like. I would be bang up for this as a transfer. I think 15 million, if you got him a month ago, you might have saved a few million, but what it might do is price one or two clubs out of this. I appreciate we're a bit skint ourselves at the moment, but we are going to play the back three next season, which leads us on to Doof in a second. Then we're going to need more than just 3 senior centre-backs. And also we need to replace, this is a different conversation, we need to replace the other Cresswell. Charlie Cresswell is not a replacement for Aaron Cresswell. Completely different type of player. So yes, he'd replace him in the lineup. It would go from Cresswell, Kilman to Todibo to Cresswell, Kilman and Todibo. But we'd really be lacking what Aaron brought to the team. I don't think Charlie provides what Aaron brings. What's the chance I'm talking about Cresswell replacing Cresswell here? But here we are. Welcome to West Ham United. So it's a big yes for me, but I still think we would need another player with an eye of playing centre-back, because I'm reluctant to say we need another centre-back. It doesn't necessarily have to be. That's why I still wonder if we'll see Wan-Bissaka in the back three often next season, and Somerville perhaps occupying that wing-back role. Not against it. I'm not completely for it because of how good Wan-Bissaka was going forward and driving us up the pitch. And the expectation is we sell Kudus. We don't have many players that can get on the ball and dribble with it. Kudus was one, Wan-Bissaka was the other. Bowen's okay with it, but in tight spaces out wide. We didn't have that from central midfield. Paqueta doesn't do it. Souček doesn't do it. Alvarez wasn't that bad at it, but not great. Irving didn't do it. Not that we've seen him. Ward-Prowse certainly doesn't do it. So I feel like we need some players that are able to travel with it. Saying that, though, I would fully expect Somerville to be able to do that. So if you had Wan-Bissaka and Somerville down that right-hand side, maybe. Anyway, speaking of Doof, the big news yesterday was that we'd had that bid rejected. Now, what's interesting here is that now it's come out from the club that we've bid for 2 players. I'm going to take that as a pinch of salt. I want to believe it. And if it's true, this is good, that we're making moves in the transfer window. However, Fabrizio Romano was the one that put this exclusive out there, which makes me kind of believe we bid or inquired for Doof. But the interesting thing is we're not that far apart, and it's down to currency, isn't it? Our apparent bid was 20 million euros, and according to Jacob Steinberg, Prague want 20 million pounds. So what's 20 million euros in pounds? Is it 18 million quid? What we're saying? 123 euros in pounds. Let's have a look. Just over 17 million. So we're 3 million short at the minute in terms of valuation. That's not that far. I think if we do want to sign Doof, and those rumours are true about what we offered and what they want, I don't feel we're that far apart. That deal could be struck. 3 million isn't a large sum of money, usually. In regards to Doof, I don't know him. I've seen him play for Senegal in the summer. That's it. I've not watched him ever apart from that. Just 20 years old, though. That would be good. If we're bringing in someone that's got good experience at that age that we feel is... And this is where I've always had my suspicions. You will know that's been around here since January. Will know I've always suspected next season, away from home, we will see 3 at the back quite a lot. That will be our main formation. I'm still unsure about what he's going to do at the top of the pitch. That's why I'm staying away from saying 3-5-2, because it might be a bit more of a 3-4-3. But regardless of which one, it still requires a left wing back. And that's what Doof is, a left wing back rather than a left back. And that's good. If we are going to play wing backs, we need to get these specialists into these roles, because I think if you're going to do that, your wing backs are crucial. If they're not good enough, your formation's just not going to work. You need players that can get up and down that line over 90 minutes, that are capable of defending, but also capable of creating chances in the final third. There's no use having wing-backs who are defensively solid, but offensively weak, or vice versa. You need them to be strong in both departments. Emerson, as good as he is, and I think he has been good under Potter, he's not very effective in the final third. He doesn't really rack up, I say assist, chance creation. You can allow him off the hook if he's creating chances, but the strikers failing to put it away. But I don't feel like Emerson's really brought that to the table much. I think he's a good left back. Left wing back, I'm not too sure. So it sort of makes sense. Fingers crossed that some of this comes to fruition and we do see a signing or two very, very soon. It's hard for me to get excited because of just the perceived situation at West Ham right now. So I'm very much going to sit here and wait to see, but it is making it difficult. Like the Charlie Cresswell thing. Normally, I think last summer, if that came out, I'd be like, brilliant, get in, we're getting a young centre-back. He turns 23 in August, so it's a good age for a centre-back. He's got really good experience for his age as well. Buzz in, believe it, let's go. Even though it's ticking all the boxes, I'm still reluctant to believe this transfer rumour. An ex-employee is usually very good when it comes to West Ham news, etc. He is very good when it comes to West Ham news. But even though it's come from him, I'm still reluctant to believe it because it just feels like it feels too obvious to some extent. Like I said, it's almost like transfer rumour maths that I'm doing in my head and thinking, nah, I'm not believing this. And I think the reason I'm not believing it is because of, I don't know, until we start making a couple of signings, it just feels a bit miserable. But fingers crossed, I will be delighted if we sign Cresswell. I'll be pleased if we sign Doof because it means that we're investing heavily. We don't really spend big money on fullbacks, West Ham, do we? We never really do it. Other clubs tend to spend more than we do. But we did with Wan-Bissaka, 15 million. Bosh, that was a big fee for us. And it's worked really well. Doof, 20 million quid, bang, that would be a lot of money. He'd be our most expensive fullback ever. That would be a good sign. I think that would be a good sign. We're willing to spend big, and that is big money, but it's also not eye-watering sums of money. Like I said, I think if we bring in 5 players for around about 10, 15, 20 million each this summer, that's what I'm expecting. Doof, Cresswell, they're both in that price bracket. They would both make a difference to us. That would be good. But until it happens, see, some people always say, I don't believe it until there's an official website holding up the shirt. And I understand it, but like I always say, we won't sign everyone we're linked to, but everyone we do sign, we will have been linked to. And I said that not long ago, and someone said, well, Max Kilman signed. I was like, yeah, but we knew about Max Kilman. We were discussing it for about a month before we finally signed him. Every player we sign, even Rodriguez, happened really quickly, but we still knew about it before it was official. Like I said, we knew about it last minute. He was practically having his medical by the time his name got leaked, but it still came out. But this summer, I might join the whole, I'll wait till I see it on the official website. Until he's on the official website, holding up the shirt with the sticky pads on his chest at Spire Roding Hospital, then I'll believe it. Because until I see that, I'm finding it difficult to believe much, and therefore I'm finding it hard to get excited about much. Saying that, I'm still really calm. I'm still fine. I'm still okay. I'm confident we'll sign players. Whether they're good enough or not is a different conversation. So as a result, I'm quite calm. The players come back to training on Monday. It's not far away. And hopefully we can have at least one new signing before then. Things can move quickly in football. It's Wednesday as I record this right now. It's Wednesday before 10 a.m. If we really wanted to, we could have a new signing by Friday. Things can move quick. We'll wait and see. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Let me know your thoughts on Charlie Cresswell in the comments below. And Doof, if you've got an opinion on Doof, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please do drop a like on it. 1,000 likes, please. Subscribe to Hammers Chat. And remember, if you want your raffle ticket, now is your last chance. Links in the description below and the pinned comments. And I will catch you in a bit.